everyone, this is Kaz Beelan, and you're watching Casual Conversations, a program where we have nice little cool casual conversations with people very important to our world. Today we have a wonderful guest. He is a award-winning motivational keynote speaker. He is a business coach. He is a corporate trainer, a podcaster of the year, and he is also has a podcast named Daniel Gomez Inspires and a international best-selling author. What more titles can you have? Daniel, welcome.
Good morning, Kaz. Hey, man, thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm excited. I woke up bright and early and brushed my teeth, took the dirt off my eyes. But I gotta be ready for my friend Kaz. We're gonna bring some energy up there to the New York City area and make it happen. So thank you for having me, my friend.
Oh yeah, New York, but the world. You know, the internet. We're all over the place. So anybody in the world can watch this and get inspired.
Hey, I tell you what, I went to Asia for the first time last year in my life. My life has never been the same. I'll tell you what, it's when you get that international view of everything, it's quite humbling and it opens up your heart even more. So I'm excited to be here, my friend.
That's true. So tell me a little bit about, your life sort of shortly, where you came from and where we are right now.
Wow. Well, Daniel Gomez Inspires is here from Texas, the big state of Texas. No, not everybody doesn't have a cow or a horse.
How about a hat? Where's your hat?
Yeah, well, no, I have a baseball cap, but I don't. I have a, grew up here in San Antonio, Texas. Been married for 25 years. Was in the automotive industry for almost 2 decades. Then 4 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my life just changed from that point forward. And I really took out just who I was in my own life, right? I took myself out of my own picture and I looked at it from a higher altitude, from a bird's eye view. And man, I didn't realize there was a lot of things I had to change, Kaz, because so many things so many reasons we think that we're successful, right? The wrong reasons of having our house paid off and having money in the bank, and God just opened up my heart to a new perspective that a lot of things I had to change within myself. And I'll tell you what, that's where my journey started. I ended up going for an interview, opened up my tie rack, saw this old email from like 5 years ago. And it was a letter from one of the counselors that I used to go and give out awards for the Chevy dealership. And it was about when I used to go speak, and God says, I want you to go be a speaker. And that's where my new career started 4 years ago. And people laughed at me, but the rest is history. And here I am on your show.
Well, thank you very much for accepting, because, I just reached out to you because I saw some of your videos, which were amazing. And by the way, here's a little clip of Daniel in action in front of an audience. So get ready, folks. This is a little bit inspiring, as you would say. So check this out.
I want you to think about this. It's not where you start in life, but it's where you finish in life. What keeps people from growing in life is a closed mindset. When you have a closed mindset, you're never going to go where you're supposed to go. And how many of us have tried before and we just stop?
There you go.
Wow.
That's pretty powerful, inspiring. When you cut to that, you could see the energy of Daniel during the show, and some of it is here. Maybe we have to crank you up a little bit more there, but it's you're an exciting person, and that energy level is tough. Let me just tell you one thing: is I used to do a movie show on cable, and then I've been thinking of doing something like this, but technology and sort of everything has come together to allow me to do this. Because before I had to carry a camera out, record it separately, fake record the questions, and edit it and everything. And this kind of allows me to talk to anyone around the world. And I had this sort of vision in my head, which is, I think, part of the things you say. You have to keep moving forward, and I did, and it kind of led me to you. So kind of engineer that backwards to explain to people how that one of the series applies. You just got to keep going forward, and you get there.
Yeah, so many of us, I think we hit that roadblock and then we stop. I think it's over 90% of people fail one time and they never try again. Just that again. Now over 90% of people fail one time and they never try again. And I'll tell you what, it's those failures that you learn from. It's one thing if you fail and you just stay down and you don't get back up off the mat. But it's like a fighter, right? If you get hit in the mouth, right? It's like the great Mike Tyson said. It's like you're a great fighter until you get hit, and then what are you gonna do? Are you going to bounce back off the canvas? Are you going to keep going? And many people, they don't get back up. They run back to what they're comfortable with, and they don't keep pressing forward. And I'll tell you, when I spoke, that video you just played, that was in California. I was nervous as heck because it was a huge audience. But by God's grace, it's like that was one of the speaking engagements that really just put me forward. And from there, it was the trunk of my business, and everything else just exploded. And I wouldn't be here on your show and having the podcast of the year if I would have quit with all the failures I had along the way.
Yeah, no. And if you want to contact Daniel, GOMEZ-Speaker.com. It's a great site. Lots of other videos. You'll be inspired, educated, and you'll be motivated to actually do something about your life. If you're kind of stuck in the middle, I was listening to one of your podcasts and you were talking, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he was kind of like you're driving a car and you get stuck, you know, and like, you know, you're going someplace you don't know. So you got a couple of choices. Either stay there or move forward. And I think the point you're making, if you move forward, you might recognize, well, that's that street I know, I've been here before, and somehow you get to your selection location. So how would you, you know, one of the things you said, people are get stuck. So what advice would you give them to get themselves motivated and moving in the right track again, if they're kind of don't know what to do?
What I love about these shows is I love to use common sense. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have these guests that come on your show, or people that you hear them speak, they try to articulate, these huge fancy words. I'm simple. It's baby steps, right? Just think of a baby. When you go to Walmart, you go to H-E-B, you go to Target, and you see Gerber baby, that's going to motivate you to take one little baby step every day. Yeah. We all get stuck. We all have those days where we wake up and the best salesman in the world is doubt, right? The best salesperson in the world is doubt. And that morning, doubt wakes up. He's knocking on your door. Come on, Daniel, I got you today. And what are you going to do when doubt creeps in? And all it is just one little baby step that day. And a good example of that, this week exactly, I just wasn't feeling it one day. I think it was Wednesday, and I just woke up, and I woke up late, and my morning routine was totally off. And the old Daniel would have probably let that just really mess up my whole day. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not just going to do nothing. But no, I had fulfillments that I had to do with customers, with clients, and some commitments that I had to do also and fulfill. And just one baby step. And it's amazing how I felt sick. I didn't feel good. The medicine made me groggy. And then as the day went on, I felt better. And the thing is, when you show up, that's half a success. Yeah. I want to tell your audience right now, don't make it bigger, right? So many times we want to take big leaps, big jumps. No, it's the consistency every single day, even when you don't feel like it. And you just got to remember this. Let your anchor be a baby. Baby steps. One little baby step, one little baby step. And then that's where the compound energy comes in. And then next thing you know, I told my wife, man, I had a pretty good day. And she goes, yeah, you look like you're feeling better. I was like, I don't think I really was during the process. But once I got the momentum, I felt good, because who doesn't want to keep their word, and who doesn't want to honor what they tell their clients they're going to do? So just being there for the people that I serve, it's all boils down to two words: baby steps.
Wow. But I know it's people just get overwhelmed by all these things that they want to do and everything. I mean, but in the end, like in one of your clips on the show right now, you basically say, you know, that, you know, other people influence you a lot, but it's you who are responsible for yourself. So get ready, folks. This is going to crank his presentation up here. You're going to get really excited after you watch this, because you're going to want to get up and do what he asked you to say. Check this out. This is really great. I love this.
Nothing is carved in stone. You can change your life if you want to badly enough. You have the power within you to change anything you want in your life. You are a winner. Say that. I am a winner. I am a winner. I am a winner. Life doesn't happen to us. Life happens through us. And that's why in my confidence coaching, it's all about right here. It's all about overcoming that. Because the average person is going to give up. The average person is going to make excuses. No one's going to do it for you. We can have a pity party every single day. We can say, oh man, whoa, me. But no, I want you to stand up right now and look at the person next to you and tell them, you're responsible for you. Come on, stand up.
I'm responsible for me, right? I'm a winner.
For you. Boom, you got me excited there, guys. Man, woo! Let's get this going. But you're responsible for you. So many times we want to blame the person on the left. We want to blame the person on the right. We want to blame Kaz. We want to blame Daniel. No, look in the mirror, and the only competition you have in this life is you. The only competition you have in this life is you. So when are you going to take responsibility for your actions? When are you going to take responsibility for the decisions that you've made? When are you going to take responsibility that it's not your mother's fault, it's not your father's fault? There comes a certain point where you have to decide for yourself. I get it, right? We don't choose our parents. We don't choose the city we live in. We don't choose where we grow up at. But you do have a decision of what you're going to do once your awareness wakes up and you're like, I have a decision to move out of this environment. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a decision that's going to you're going to go from one level to the next level. No, it's a process where you go steadily. But the more you're consistent, the more you show up every single day, and the more you're honest with yourself, because you can lie to anybody you want to lie to. But are you going to be lying to yourself? Because when you lie to yourself, that's when the shame sits in. That's when the doubt sits in. And you have to stop lying to the main person in your life, which is you. Take responsibility for your actions. And this is one thing that they need to do, Kaz. This is the one main thing that they need to do. Maybe you did make some mistakes. Maybe you did screw up. Maybe you did some things that, wow. Today, right now, as you're watching this show with Kaz, you need to forgive yourself. Let me say that again. You watching right now, you're watching this for a reason. You need to forgive yourself. And once you release the shame, once you release the guilt, once you get out of your own condemnation, because many times when we blame other people, Kaz, it's we're condemning ourselves, but we don't want to take the responsibility, so we deflect it to somebody else, when in reality, it's the person in the mirror that you need to forgive, and that's you.
Yeah, that is awesome. I mean, basically, you just saw a recreation of the show that you did, so you can tell Daniel is real. You know, he's not just acting a role or anything like that. You saw him with the energy of the crowd there, and you saw him in person. And, you know, when I do commercials and everything, I always say, we'll do a commercial for you, but I want to capture the real person the way they are. And you know, it's, some people it's very hard to do because they feel like they're not being themselves, sort of, for that point. Because one of the keys is to just be yourself, no matter where you go, right? You just got to go in and be yourself, because you lose yourself in somebody else's, but compare yourself to others, just go in there and be yourself.
Yeah, I think that I fell prey to that, and I'm guilty of that, right? I fell prey to just you don't think you measure up like them, or you see another speaker for me, and it's like, wow, they're pretty good. But the thing is, who are they behind the scenes, right? When the camera's on, you're looking at their highlight reels. You're looking at the highlight reels where they portray a certain image, a certain persona, and it's not who they are many times. And I'll tell you, I really had to look back in last year that a lot of things that I would have said the first years of my business, I would have said yes to. The second half of last year, I said no, because we were growing. In 2020, God doubled our business. We had a record-breaking first quarter, second quarter this year, because our book publishing company, part of our business, took off. We won Podcast of the Year, so we started launching podcasts for other podcasters. And I say that because I got to the point where I had you said the word real, right? Authentic. The real you has to come out. So someone's asking, well, what does that look like, Kaz? What does that look like, Daniel? Make decisions based off the values that you have within your soul, within your heart.
Yeah.
You know your own values. For me, I'm faith-based. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I believe in being a person of integrity. You know, one of the things that I do when I do my business coaching, it surprises me how many people don't report all their revenue. I'm like, well, this is your number one problem. You're not reporting your revenues. They're like, well, no, because then the government's going to, right? They have this system that was passed down from their uncle, and their Uncle Joe saying, no, well, if you report everything, the government's going to do you over. No, we report all your revenue. But I say that because at that moment, make decisions based off your values. If you're going to say you're a person of integrity, report all your income. And when you make decisions based off your values, Kaz, it makes life a lot easier.
No, it does. It does, because you always tell the truth. You never have to worry about lying, right? So one of the things they say, because you keep telling stories and you forgot what story you told, you know, and people are going to pick up on that. Well, I thought Daniel said that last time, and now he says something different, different numbers, and, you know, you pick that up. He says, well, is he being truthful or not? Let's show your first book there. So move over a little bit. We have the book right there. So move yourself over so you don't block your wonderful book there, Sticker Shock. So tell me the idea behind this book and what we're trying to say there.
Well, it's Sticker Shock, the day you realize you're worth millions. And it's really for sales. It's leveraging confidence and success in the car business, sales, and life. And really in all those areas, right? Sales is sales. People don't realize that every day we're selling ourselves.
Right.
But it's not that many people detest sales because they never embrace it and they don't embody themselves and see themselves as a sales professional. But this is the thing, though. We look at the skill set. You definitely need the skill set of selling and understanding personalities and communicating. But the subtitle, the day you realize you're worth millions, that's the key when you really start taking the action to be that great sales professional and really embody it. Because if you don't feel you're worthy, you're never going to make the phone calls. You're never going to follow up, and you're never going to just go out there and just take the action steps that you need to take because you don't feel you're good enough. So the day you realize you're worth millions is chapter 1, right? Is that's when the sticker shot comes in. You're like, wow, it's like that beautiful car on the showroom floor. It has all the bells, all the whistles, leather,
Right.
fully loaded, the cream of the crop. And that's you. You just never saw yourself as the top of the line. And it's time that we start seeing ourselves who we are, that we are created in the image and likeness of God, that we are excellence inside of us, and that really anything we put our mind to, we can accomplish. And when you realize that you are worthy, right? That simple word, that you're more important than you realize, that's when you're like, wow. And then next thing you know, you start taking action, you start doing the things you need to do, because this is the truth. No business, I don't care what business you are, and we found this out in 2020, no business survives without revenue.
Right.
And you need revenue to survive. I don't care who you are, what you do. You need revenue, you need sales, and Sticker Shock is going to definitely help you, give you a different perspective. And I promise you, when you read this book, it's going to definitely open up your mind to say, wow, I do deserve to be a successful businessman or woman. Because most business owners, they don't embody that concept of being a successful business person.
Well, talking about believing in yourself, I mean, you know, social media, LinkedIn exposes you to a lot of different people. And for some reason, your, you know, image or, you know, connection came up, and I said, let me just ask you to invite you to be, you know, connected through LinkedIn. And then I saw more of your videos. Says, let me just reach out to him and see if he wants to do it. So I'm thinking, well, he looks like he's this big international speaker, which, you know, looks like you are, all the imaging, all the books and everything. And I says, well, let me just see if this guy wants to talk to me. You know, he doesn't know who the heck I am. He doesn't know where I am, which is a good thing, internet. It could be anywhere in the world, you know, but, you know, I said, reach out, and he actually responded. And then you said, you know, you'd be interested in doing the interview. And I'm like, great. It's because I took a chance to do that. And I'm doing that a lot more, because to these days, you can't be in your own little world, you know. And like I say, we're running out of time. Look at this time. Not on the show, not on the show, but running out of time in real life. So I have limited time to do stuff. Okay. But I took a chance. So why did you respond to me? I just want to hear you personally tell me that.
Well, I believe in just, first of all, when somebody reaches out to you, it's humbling, right? I never forget where I come from. Even though I've been successful and, you know, we're growing by leaps and bounds, I never forget what it's like to eat cereal with water. I know what it's like to eat cereal with water. And I say that because you try to give people the benefit, and, you know, why not? And if you're inviting me, I want to, you know, when people that I would want on my show, I would want them to say yes. And sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we think we know it all. And then that ego and that pride steps up. And then that's when, you know, God humbles you pretty quick. But, you know, I just prayed about it and I felt good about your vibe. And I said, you know what, I think it'd be a good, and why not? Right. I mean, it's you get to meet more people. And I think so many times, this is the answer that I think your audience needs to hear, is that never look down on anybody. Never look down on anybody. Because one thing I learned in business is, if you step on people to get up, on your way down, you're going to pass those people up, or they're going to step on you. Let me say it again. If you're stepping on people to get up and successful in your career and business, trust me, what goes up comes down. And as you're coming down, those same people that you stepped on, they're going to step on you, because you reciprocate what you put out there. So when you reached out to me, Kaz, I was like, why not? Like, let's do this. Like, if I can add value, it's a great opportunity to serve people. And sometimes we think about it, we think we're the movie star, and it's not. It's the audience that benefits from the value that we put out there. So that's kind of my philosophy on that.
No, that's why I decided to do this program. I just, the only regret I have is that I should have done it, you know, beginning of COVID, but still, COVID kind of woke up to people of, you know, internet connections, be able to see things and accept quality of videos and everything. And, you know, basically, as this book says, you were born to fly, but we are born to fly. We have to get our wings somehow, right? On Earth here, at least, for now, and make things happen. And better way than kind of, in a way, as they call, pay forward, whatever. Let's just reach out to people, help them share their message with the world, and somehow that's going to come back nicely to you.
Yeah. Well, you were born to fly. I would have never thought I would have been. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, I was going to be a 3-time international bestseller, I would have never believed it. And You Were Born to Fly was the first book that I ever wrote. And I almost sabotaged myself, because every time, human nature is you always gravitate to what's easy. You always gravitate to what you're familiar with. And I want your audience to write this down. It's time you get familiar with the unfamiliar. And I was very unfamiliar with how to write a book. And at the time, my publisher was like, you got to finish this book. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to. Like, it was frustrating. My head was hurting, but I pushed through it because somebody encouraged me to do it. And now You Were Born to Fly has sold thousands of copies all over the world. It's been humbling. It's been amazing. And it's really a book on self-development, on personal growth and self-leadership. And it really helps you to develop confidence and believe in yourself, because this is the thing is most people, we go through life living with low expectations. One thing that I don't agree with, that I hear a lot of people say, is don't get your expectations. Don't expect nothing good, right? Expectations is a bad thing. And it's not. Something I tell myself every day is I am living life with positive expectations. And look, I met you. Right? If I didn't, I don't expect, this is right. If we think about this, if we float through life expecting nothing good, well, then nothing good happens to us. And if we float through life saying, well, if it's meant to be, it'll happen, that's a bunch of hogwash, because you attract what's in your brain right here. You attract what you put out there. And if you're expecting nothing, you're going to get nothing. But if you wake up every day expecting to meet new people, expecting to help people, expecting to be the best version of yourself, and then you get a mindset of a champion to really believe it for yourself, which You Were Born to Fly is going to give you that, then you cannot lose. And little by little, you start to see the change. But this is the problem most people do. Think of a farmer. You tell me of a farmer, Kaz, that goes out there, they plant a seed, whether it's watermelon, corn, whatever it is. And then next thing you know, they go out there in 2 weeks. They're like, well, there's nothing growing. They go out there in another 2 weeks. Well, it's been a month, nothing's growing. Let me just pull these seeds out. Who does that? You don't, because the farmer knows that once this seed germinates, it's going to sprout out and give you a little sprout within time. And so many times we don't see that sprout come up right away in our business, in our life, in our careers, in our relationships. And I was guilty of that. And you get discouraged. But no, remember this. Every seed that we plant, like I mentioned, if it's a watermelon seed, it has its own way of growing, its own speed of growth. If it's a corn, it's going to grow its own seed. And then one of the slowest seeds of itself is an acorn, right? An oak tree. That's the slowest one.
Yeah. So hey, Daniel, I have an interesting story for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you eat fruit. Let's say this is a peach. It's a true story. And, you just kind of have a peach and you say, well, I'm done with, you got the center of the peach and just throw it away, right? So whatever, it's just going to decay, or some animal's going to come in and eat it and it'll be gone, right? So there was this little plant that grew in front of our house, and it grew, it kind of had a darkish bark on it. And one year I said, let me just yank this thing out because I don't know what it is, and I couldn't yank it out. So I left it in. Last year, this tree grew about 3 feet tall by this time, and it had little pink flowers. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cute. It's like one of those cherry trees, doesn't have cherries, but it has the flowers, This year, tree's bigger, the flowers grew, and we got peaches, tons of peaches. Like here in the Northeast, tons of peaches, like really good peaches, full size, not the little tiny ones that never grow, I just find it amazing. So in your book, it says, you got to say something 151 times before it becomes real. I mean, tell me more about that. But this is a story funny you say that about believing in something, and that really happened this year. Was the first time, tons of peaches.
Yeah, think about that. Without even, so there's you just said two big things right there. We plant a seed, and then we pick up our own seed, and then we never see the fruition, the fruit of it. And so many times unaware, because 95% of the decisions that we make is habitual. We don't even know it. And somebody out there, you're planting all these negative seeds, and you don't even realize it. That's why your life is where it's stuck at. But like Kaz just said, you planted a peach seed unknowingly, and look, it's going to grow regardless, right? And I love what you brought up, because this is the thing is, in my book, You Were Born to Fly, Marshall Falk talks about this, is that in the rule of 151, if you've never been told that you're loved, if you've never been told I love you, then when somebody new comes into your life and says I love you, you don't hear it for the first 50. You don't even hear it the next 50. And then it's not until the 150th time that you start to acknowledge just the verbiage of, wow, okay, great. And it's not until the 151st time that you consciously, cognitively say, maybe Kaz does love me. Maybe it is true, because that person's never been told that. And so many times, think about that, 151 times. So in business, if you have an employee that has never been told that I believe in you, right? We give them 90 days as trial, 3 months. Well, within that 90 days, guess what? It's not 151 days, first of all. Then second of all, there's only 21 working days to say. So in reality, you don't give that person the full opportunity to really prove themselves. Because if you don't tell them, hey, you're doing a good job, you're not affirming that employee, you're not affirming your teammate, you're not affirming yourself or your wife or your children. You got to affirm. There's power in words, right? You either speak life or you speak death. And most of us, unfortunately, we speak death unknowingly because we either complain, we murmur, and then we gossip. And that's the worst thing you could do to kill your business and kill your life and kill your dreams. You're stuck in a rut.
That's a very profound speech there. Let me play one more clip. This is kind of brings the whole story, I think, to an end, but it's important to listen to, and we'll have a few words after this one.
Nobody chooses their parents. Nobody chooses what neighborhood they grew up in. But you can't choose which direction you're going to take in life. So make the decision today that you're taking responsibility for your life. To grow, to improve it. Because you know why? You matter.
Everyone matters. You matter. It's so cool. I like the way it driving really hard there, and it's something like slows you down and says, "Hey, listen, there's some important things I got to tell you. You matter." Like just like a little movie story. I do stories and commercials in 30 seconds, and this is about that length. And you learn so much in that, not just about you, but about life and about yourself. That you matters. Everyone matters.
Yeah, so many people. Going back to the book Sticker Shock, they feel unworthy and deserving, and they don't think they matter. And I think your audience needs to understand that you do matter. You are more important than you realize. Somebody needs to hear that watching this today. You are more important than you realize. You matter. And maybe you haven't been affirmed by your mom. You haven't been affirmed by your dad, and they never gave you that pat on the back, that seal of approval to say you don't feel accepted, you don't feel approved by your parents. Irrelevant of that, God has already approved of you. He's already accepted you. And you need to hear this today. You're more important than you realize. And you watching this show right now, you matter.
Wow. Thank you very much. It's such an important message. I hope people watch this over and over again because there's so many good fine points in here. So final question, Daniel, what did you think of this casual conversation today? Did you have fun? What did you learn from it?
I loved it. I got to say, I think I might hire you because I like your video editing and just the little graphic stuff. You do an amazing job. And really, it was a lot of fun. It was great to get to know you on a deeper level and get to know the amazing person that Kaz is. So thank you for having me on your show. I really, really enjoyed it. I can see your heart is real too. And right, like energy attracts like energy. So thank you for having me on your show.
You know what I think of that comment? Wow.
Yeah. And what I want to do for your audience for watching this, I want to give a free gift. Text the word confident, CONFIDENT to 26786. That's confident to 26786. And I'm going to give them my free training. I used to sell it for $100 something, but I'm going to give it free. It's a 7 steps to fly daily. That's 7 steps to fly daily. My gift to you. Text the word confident to 26786, and it's my gift to y'all.
Wow. Thank you very much. And don't forget, tell me a few things about the podcast also.
Yeah, you can find the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show on iHeart, iTunes, and actually on YouTube, the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. And we just love we have a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs. We've had Mark Victor Hansen from Chicken Soup for the Soul. We had John Lee Dumas and one of the top #1 YouTubers, Evan Carmichael, on our show. So it's a lot of just great personal growth and wisdom and faith and business. We mix it all in together. And the main thing is we really give you tools to really apply in your life. So subscribe to our show, the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. And as you're tuning in, also leave us a review. Would greatly appreciate it. And if you're struggling in your business, you need help, reach out to me. I'm an award-winning business coach, voted top 20 in San Antonio. I don't know everything, but I know I can definitely make a difference in your life because I was able to make a difference to our United States Air Force.
Well, yeah, no, I saw those videos too. So go to DanielGomezSpeaker.com for all that information. All the other links Daniel talked about, we'll have it below the video, whether you watch it on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever the newest social site is. It'll be there posted. I'm sure Daniel will repost it because he's so happy about this recording. I can tell.
I love it. I love it.
So, Daniel, thank you again. And I'll talk to you soon. Hope we'll have you back again to talk more because you're such an inspiration to everybody. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Kaz, and thank you, everybody. God bless y'all.